screen first. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, Prof. Very nice.
Alhamdulillah. Good. So today we're going to be discussing on the topic of sources of Islamic law. Okay, so to be honest with you guys, actually this is quite a long topic. Okay, usually in my class I will actually take around almost 4 or even 5 weeks to complete this topic, but because of this is short class, I will try my best to make it fit in our allotted time or given time. So let's start, dive away with our topic. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli, amma ba'd. So this will be our discussion today. We're going to look into the 2 type of sources of Islamic law, which is adillah muttafaqa alayha, agreed upon sources, and number 2 you have adillah mukhtalaf fiha, not agreed upon sources. Okay, let's see. Okay, we have Quran, we have Sunnah. Okay, wait. Then we have IJMA and we have QIYAS for agreed upon sources. And for the non-agreed upon sources, we have istihsan, istishab, uruf, sadd al-dhari'ah, and masalih mursalah or maslaha mursalah. Okay, so we try to look into this, every type of sources briefly, inshallah. Okay, so agreed upon sources. Okay, basically we have 4 agreed upon sources. Basically these are the sources that actually is agreed by all scholars, all Muslim scholars. Okay, which it consists of Quran, Sunnah, Ijma' and Qiyas. Okay, so basically all madhab will use these 4 sources. Okay, first we're going to look into the Quran. Okay, Quran, as we know, it actually comes from the root word qara'a. Okay, qara'a yaqra'u, qara'atan in Quran. Okay, means reading and recitation. Okay, so according to Badawi, so this is the technical definition. Kitab munazzal ala Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-muktub fil masahif wal-manqul ilayna anhu naqlan mutawatiran bila shubha. The book containing word of Allah revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Arabic. Okay, in Arabic, and transmitted to us by continuous testimony, tawatur, without doubt. Okay, so when we talk about Quran, it must be written in Arabic. Okay, if let's say it is written in in another language, then it is not the Quran. Okay, but it may be the translation or transliteration of Quran, but not Quran. Quran must be written in Arabic. The content of Quran are not classified subject-wise. The verses on various topics appeared in different places, and no particular order can be established in the sequence of its text. Okay, so this is ma'ruf. Okay, we know about it. Arrangement of verses and ayat is fixed. It is tawqifi, which means we cannot actually change it. Okay, it has actually been fixed by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore cannot be violated. The Quran is a comprehensive and indivisible guide for all aspects of human life, and must be accepted and implemented in its entirety. Yes. So supposedly we should accept, we should implement Quran in its entirety, all of its content, not just part of it. Okay, but today a lot of things happen, so sometimes unfortunately we cannot make this happen. Okay, we have so many obstacles in which we as Muslim, we have to strive and try our best to actually implement Quran in its entirety as much as we could, inshallah. Okay, so this is Quran. So this is the distinctive feature of Quran. Okay, of course, first one is the speech and actual word of Allah. Yes. Okay, so this is the actual word of Allah come from Allah, okay, revealed in Arabic language in both word and meaning. Yes, okay. And number 3, transmitted with continuous testament, which is mutawatir. So when we talk about Quran, there is no issue of whether this is mutawatir or not mutawatir. This is actually we call this da'if issues, nothing. About that, because Quran is mutawatir and there is no such issues. Okay. Number 4, i'jaz, miracle of Quran. Okay, so yes, in Quran, there's lot of miracle of Quran, not only in terms of its language, the arrangement of the word used in the Quran, okay, the choice of word that being made by Allah in His Quran, but there's also a miracle in terms of the factual, the fact that being stated in the Quran, the scientific discovery in the Quran, and many more. Okay, so this what we call as i'jaz al-Quran. Okay, and of course in order to understand this in depth, we must actually explore more. We have to read more. Okay, and this actually required or consume a lot of time, and of course for our class today it's not enough. Okay, and number 5, complete and comprehensive. Yes, okay, so again Quran is complete and actually comprehensive, and that is why it's called as Islam. We our religion is essentially known as way of life. Okay, and this way of life, most of it can actually be there from Quran. Okay, Al-Karim. Okay, so this is more the distinctive feature of Quran. Next. Okay, so moving on to the MAKKAN and MADINAN. Okay, so ayah Makkiyah and ayah Madaniyah. Okay, so this is basically the verses of Quran that are actually being revealed down in 2 different places. The first one is in Mecca. Okay, in Mecca, when the Prophet just being appointed by Allah to become the Rasul or the Prophet, and he was actually just in the early stage of his da'wah. Okay, so let's see. First one, okay, 19 surah out of 30 surahs were revealed during the first 12.5 years, okay, of the Prophet's residence in Mecca. So the Meccan part of Quran mainly emphasis on, firstly, this is the content of the Quran, of the verses that have been revealed in Mecca. Firstly, a topic related to belief, okay, aqidah, then verses that related to the tawheed, oneness of Allah, and verses related to the necessity of the prophethood of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And number 4, the verses that actually talk about the hereafter, okay, argument with the unbelievers and their invitation to Islam. Okay, and in Medina, okay, actually 11 surah out of 30 surah were revealed after Prophet ﷺ migrated to Medina, okay, over a period of just about 9.5 years. Okay, so actually Medina is where most of the the Sharia be revealed on here in Medina. Okay, so the Medinan part of the Quran comprised legal rules and regulated the various aspects of life in the new environment of Medina. Yes, because in Mecca, Muslim are the minorities. Okay, we don't have power. Muslim actually they're being oppressed. Okay, so there's a lot of injustice happen to Muslim, but in Medina, okay, we have new environment, very peaceful environment. So here, a lot of new Sharia being revealed on here. Okay, example here, principle regulation of the political, legal, social organization of the family, economic life of the new community in Medina. Yes, because in Medina, there's not only they have the what we call as Arab, Yeah, they have the Christian, and they also have the Jews, Yahudi. Okay, so yes, this new setting, well, of course, they need new set of regulation. Okay, next. Okay, so straight away we go to Sunnah. Okay, of course, literal meaning well-known path or well-trodden path. Okay, the Arab use of the word Sunnah in reference to the ancient and continuous practice of the community which they inherited from their ancestor. That is the literal meaning of Sunnah. Technically, all what is narrated from Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, including his action, okay, saying, okay, أفعال أقوال and whatever he تحصل proof, تقرير أو إقرار. In addition of the reports which describe his physical attributes, his prophet character, also considered as Sunnah. So also, I mean, sometimes we have this confusion between Sunnah and Hadith, and because sometimes we use this term interchangeably, correct? Okay, sometimes we say Sunnah, sometimes we say Hadith. So what is the difference between these two terms? Let's see. Sunnah basically includes this saying, okay, the aqwal, doings, the act, the af'al, and the approval of Prophet, the taqrir of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is Sunnah. Whereas when we talk about Hadith, okay, it is basically a narration of the saying of the Prophet only. That's it. So Hadith is more specific to the saying, aqwal of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But Sunnah is more general, secret saying, action, and his approval. Okay. So the authority of Sunnah comes from Quran itself, where Allah said, وَمَنْ تِقْ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Okay, nor does he refer to Muhammad or of his own desire. I mean, it is no less than inspiration sent down to him. Yes. So this is the authority of Sunnah. Next. Okay, so this is the categories of Sunnah, categorization of Sunnah. Of course, there are various categorization here. In terms of reliability of the and memory of the reporters, okay, like you have Sahih, Hasan, Da'if, and Mawdu', and in terms of nature of the text and Isnad, طبيعة المتن والإسناد, زيادة الثقة, منكر الحديث, and Mudraj, and then we have in terms of number of reporters involved in each stage, عدد الرواة. For example, mutawatir, whether it is mutawatir hadith, ahad hadith, mashhur hadith, aziz or qarib hadith. And next one is in terms of link of isnad, interrupted or uninterrupted. Isnad means inqita' wa adam. Example here like musnad, mursal, muttasal, munqati', mu'dal, and mu'allaq. And last but not least, preference, particular authority. Okay, من اسند إليه. Here we have like qudsi, marfu', mawquf, and maqtu'. Okay, so these are all the categorization of Sunnah, in which I will actually skip this part because this is quite long. If let's say I want to explain this one by one, but I give a brief explanation in the next slide. Okay, let's see here. So this is the explanation, and you can actually read on your own later. Okay, but of course this is a very brief one. If let's say you want to have the detail and complete meaning, you have to of course refer to the mu'jam or any other books that will discuss this hadith book that will discuss this term in a very detailed manner. Okay, next. Okay, role of Sunnah. The main role played by Sunnah is an explanatory of Quran and integral with it. Scholars have identified 4 main areas in this regard. This include, okay, so these are the main role of Sunnah. Of course, there are other roles, but this is the main one. Firstly, the emphasis of Quran, the emphasis of Al-Quran. This is number one. Number two, elaboration of Al-Quran. Well, I mean, they will actually elaborate the Quran, because sometimes, sometimes Quran verse sometimes is actually be revealed in a very simple and in a very general, kind of, verse, very general form, For example, like, when we talk about obligatory prayers, salawatul khams, Allah said, aqimus salah wa atu zakah. That's it. So, how many times that we have to pray, how many times a day, it is 2, it is 3, or even is it 5 times a day, and what is this 5 times prayer, and how to do it. All of this, detail is actually mentioned in Sunnah, not in the Quran. And see, the Sunnah qualified, the unqualified verses of Quran, and specify the general injunction of Quran. Yes, again, this is a very, technical, discussion. I'm not sure if, let's say, we have time. If, let's say, we have time, we will discuss it later, inshallah. And the Sunnah may enact ruling on which Quran is silent about it. Yes, Sunnah al-Mu'assisah. Yes, because sometimes there are things that are actually not mentioned in the Quran, but it is mentioned in Sunnah. So here Sunnah will actually become the main reference, that actually enact ruling or hukum on that particular issue. So these are the 4 main role of Sunnah. Next. Now coming on to the number 3, the third source of, source of Islamic law, which is al-ijma. Ijma definition, literally it means determination and resolution. Technically, the unanimous agreement of the mujtahidun of Muslim community of any period following the demise of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam on Shar'i legal matters. So this is definition by Imam or Sheikh Abu Zahra, rahimahullah. So yes, this is the definition of ijma. So when you talk about ijma, again, ijma can only take place after the demise of the Prophet, and there can be no ijma when the Prophet was still alive. Majority of Muslim scholars have concluded that consensus of the all mujtahidun on a particular ruling is a sure indication that the word of truth has prevailed over their differences. Yes, basically, when they were doing this consensus of ijma, basically they actually focus on, the word of truth, rather than they focus on their differences. So this is ijma. Let's see next. Condition for the validity of ijma. So what is the condition, the shurut that make ijma as, a valid one, a valid ijma? That's it. Firstly, the availability of mujtahidun. Yes, because when we talk about ijma must be made by mujtahid, not by the muqallid, or even muttabi'. It must be made by mujtahid. So the first one, they must be mujtahid, that available during that particular period of time. Number 2, unity in opinion. And when we talk about ijma, again, there must be unity in their opinion. If, let's say, we have one group of scholars, let's say A, and we have another group says B, that it is not ijma. Because when we talk about ijma, it must basically all scholars will say A, not otherwise. Number 3, express opinion. So this is the third condition. In ijma, the opinion must be expressed. If, let's say, you simply keep quiet, then it is not ijma, according to majority of scholars. Of course, of course there will be issue later about ijma sarih and sukuti, but this is the the condition that being stipulated by the majorities of scholars, Jumhurul Fuqaha wal Ulama. Okay. Number 4, Ummah of Muhammad. Yes. So ijma can take place between among the Ummah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and not the Ummah of other Prophet. If let's say it is the ijma from the Ummah of Prophet, مثلا Prophet Musa, it is not ijma. So it is actually ijma from Ummah of Prophet Isa, it is not ijma. It must be the ijma, unity or consensus from the Ummah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And number 5, ijma must take place after the demise of the Prophet. Okay, like what I have said to you just now. It can only take place. If let's say it take place during the period where Prophet is still alive, then it is not ijma. It is not valid ijma, because when Prophet is still alive, when there is any problem, then we will refer to the Prophet, and there is no use for ijma. And number 6, the agreement made on single determined period. Yes, the consensus on certain issues must be made on single determined period. If let's say, it cannot be all times. It must be specific determined period. Okay. Okay, number 7, agreement upon hukum shari. Okay, so yes, that is ijma. Okay, so if I say this ijma on medicine, medicine, or ijma on science issues, ijma on legal issues, or ijma on biology issues, or otherwise it is not. It is not ijma according to our definition here. Okay. And last but not least, reliance on evidence. Yes, of course, ijma. It also must rely on evidence from Quran, Sunnah, other type of sources. Okay. Okay. So this, if let's say it fulfill all of this requirement, all of these shurut, then it will be a valid ijma. Okay. Next. Okay, type of ijma. Okay, we have 2 types of ijma basically. Okay, we still have like 22 minutes. Okay, we have like ijma sarih and ijma sukuti. Okay, so sarih basically explicit one, and sukuti is the implicit one. Ijma in which ijma sarih is ijma in which every mujtahid expresses his opinion either verbally or by action. Okay, according to the majority of scholars, explicit ijma is definitive. Okay, and binding. It should be implemented and become part of Islamic law. So this is ijma sarih. Ijma sukuti, on the other hand, okay, is when some mujtahidun of particular time give an express opinion concerning an incident, but the rest of the mujtahidun remain silent. They actually don't say anything whether they agree or not. Okay, so this kind of ijma is acceptable and valid according to Hanbali school of Islamic law. However, Shafi'i and Hanafi refute validity of such ijma. Okay, sorry, qiyas. Okay, number 4, last source of is the muttafaq alayha. Okay, agreed upon sources. Qiyas means measuring or estimating the length, weight, or quality of something. Technically, extension of Sharia value from original case al-asal to new case, because the latter has the same effective cause. It has the same illah as the former, as the original case. Okay, so basically we have original case, and we extend the rule from this original to new case. Okay, al-qiyas extend same ruling to the new case based on the shared illah. Okay, being an extension of the existing law, qiyas discovers and develops the existing law. It doesn't create new law. Okay, so yes, qiyas doesn't create new law. Rather, it actually just transfer the existing law to new case. Muslim jurists have concluded that some of the ruling in Islamic law follow certain objective, for instance, maqasid objective, which are in harmony with reason and logic. Okay. Okay. Next. Okay. So this is the pillars, arkan al-qiyas, and its condition. Shurat for the arkan. We have four pillars of qiyas: al-asl, al-fara', al-'illah, al-hukm. We're going to look into the first one, al-asl, okay, original keys. The base case shouldn't be, okay, this is condition. The base case or original case shouldn't be extension, fara' of another case mentioned in the text. So when we talk about al-asl, it must be the original one that is found in the Quran or Sunnah. Number two, the condition number two, qiyas is constructed upon the original case and not upon the extension. So when we talk about qiyas, we must actually base on the original case, not the extension one. Al-fara', the condition number two, hukum, okay, shouldn't be expressly mentioned in the text. Okay, if let's say the hukum is already mentioned expressly, then there is no need for qiyas. Okay, and the illah of the asal should also be found in the fara', in the the new case or the branch case. If let's say the illah cannot be the illah of the original case cannot be found in the new case, then we cannot do qiyas. Number three, illah, effective cause itself. Illah must, the condition here we have like 1, 2, 3, 5. Firstly, illah must be apparent cause. Okay, must be apparent, clear. And number two, it can easily be perceived by the senses and outward tribute, and not something that is concealed or internal. Number three, illah should be constant and stable attribute. Okay, should be stable and constant. Number four, it doesn't change. Illah actually do not change according to the circumstances and doesn't vary from person to other person. Then if let's say it changes according to circumstances or according to different person, then it is not a good illah. And number five, illah shouldn't be illah should be extendable. Okay, so should be this illah can be extended to other case, and it is not confined to the asal. Okay, to the original case. And number four, al-hukm. Hukum should be established directly from Quran or Sunnah. This is the first one, the shurut. And condition number two, the jurist should be able to determine illah. Okay, because for hukum, and the illah should be rationally understood to be the cause of the hukum. Yes. Okay. Number three, the hukum shouldn't have been abrogated. Yes, if let's say this hukum that has been abrogated, then that is not a good hukum. It cannot be used to do qiyas. And number four, hukum shouldn't be restricted to a specific case by another. Yes, again, hukum shouldn't be restricted to only just one case. It can be extended to other new case. Okay, so this is arkan al-qiyas wa shurut. Okay, next type of qiyas. We have here basically three types of qiyas. Firstly, we have qiyas al-awla, qiyas al-masawi, qiyas al-adna. Qiyas al-awla basically the analogy of the superior. Especially in this qiyas, the effective cause, the illah in the new case is more evident, more strong in the original case. Okay. Let's see here. We have example. This is very famous ayah. فَقَدَّ رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Okay. And the next ayah. فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. Okay, so this is the focus here. Okay. So and that you be dutiful to your parent if one of them or both of them attain old age in your life. Okay, say not to them word of disrespect, no shout at them. So here Allah said, do not taqul lahuma uff, or shout or say hurtful word, a very rude word. But if they say, how about if let's say we beat our parent, we kick our parent, or we punch our parent, then of course it is much more serious in nature. So this is the qiyas al-awla. Number two, qiyas al-musawi. Illah is actually equally effective in both they are in the same level basically. Like example of punishment of adultery for male slave is similar to the female slave. So basically this in the same level. Number three, qiyas al-adna. Here illah is less clearly effective in the new case than the original one. Okay, so this one is actually weaker. Okay, illah is weaker here. Example here, rules of riba prohibit the exchange of weight and of other specified commodities unless the two amount are equal and delivery is immediate. Okay, so the condition here, it must be amount is amount are equal and delivery is immediate. By analogy, this rule is extended to apple since both wheat and apple are edible and measurable. And measurable. So this is, still qiyas, but it's qiyas al-adna, and this is according to Shafi'is. Okay. Okay. So this type of qiyas. Next. Okay. Finish with agreed upon sources. Then now we're moving on to the second part, which is non-agreed upon sources. We have istishab, istihsan first, istishab and masalih mursalah, shadud dari', and finally we have uruf. Okay. Okay, we still have like 15 minutes. Istihsan. Okay, meaning to do something preferable and to consider something good. Okay, technically moving away from the application of analogy to an analogy that is stronger than it. Okay, so we move from one analogy to another analogy that is according to us much stronger, or it is the restriction of analogy by evidence that is stronger than it. Okay, the departure of the from clear qiyas to the hidden qiyas. Basically, we have when we want to do qiyas, we have the clear one, the clear qiyas, and we have the qiyas jali. And you have the hidden qiyas, which is qiyas khafi. Okay, but the thing is, sometimes if let's say we want to follow this clear qiyas, it will actually result in injustice, or actually it is not enough to repel hardship. So we move from this clear qiyas to hidden qiyas, qiyas khafi. Because why? Because this hidden qiyas is stronger and more effective in repelling hardship and difficulties. So let's get example here. During the period of Umar al-Khattab, okay, I think I have mentioned this case, in the previous class. So about the theft cases that happen during the drought season. So usually, if let's say someone actually has been caught for stealing and actually has to, fulfill the condition of that, stealing act, of course, the punishment will be, cutting off hand. Okay, that is the ordinary rule. If let's say someone being caught for theft, his hand will be cut off. But okay, when this theft happened during the drought season, Omar, okay, actually instead of following the same rule, he actually moved to another rule, which means he actually, instead of cutting off the hand, he actually refused to cut off the hand. He suspended the haddu sariqah. Why? This was made on a ground of public interest, because during that was the drought season. Of course, when this person, caught for stealing, he actually committed this act of stealing out of necessity. He just want to stay alive and try to stay out from being starved, or try to stay alive. Okay, that is number one. Okay, number two, permission to women to travel without mahram under exceptional circumstances. Yes. Okay, so in ordinary circumstances, women cannot travel without her mahram. Okay, that is the original rule. But if let's say sometimes we follow this original rule, it can lead to many hardship and difficulties. So in this situation, scholars, some scholars actually depart from this original rule to another rule that is actually much more effective in repelling this hardship and difficulties. And if let's say we follow this istihsan, the women can actually travel without mahram in under exceptional or certain exceptional circumstances. Okay, istihsan. Validity of istihsan is valid secondary source of Islamic law according to Hanafis, Malikis, and Hanbalis. Okay, istihsan is not valid secondary source of Islamic according to Shafi'is, but Shafi'is actually reject this istihsan. Of course, this is the mutaqaddimin, the early Shafi'is, because right now I believe that the contemporary Shafi'is actually already accepted this istihsan as a valid source of Islamic law. Okay, and we have this very famous word of Imam Shafi'i. Istihsan is the following of one's personal whim and one's to unjustified legislation. Okay, istahsana faqad shara'. Next, we move to another, istishab. What is istishab? Literally means escorting or companionship. Technically, istishab denotes a rational proof which may be employed in the absence of other indication, specifically those facts or rules of law and reason whose existence or non-existence had been proven in the past, actually exist in the past, and which are presumed to remain so for lack of evidence to establish any change. Okay, so basically, so when we talk about istishab, basically we are sticking with the fact that we have now, and we presume this fact actually continue, to happen into the future, because we actually lack of evidence to show otherwise. Okay, so this is, I mean, more the basis of istishab. Hadith narrated from Abu Hurairah, where Prophet said, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إذا وجد أحدكم في بطنه شيئا فأشكل عليه أخرج منه شيء أم لا فلا يخرجن من المسجد حتى يسمع صوتا أو يجد ريحا. Okay, so meaning here, if any one of you has pain in his abdomen, but it's doubtful whether or not anything has issued, it basically whether he actually has farted or not, the Prophet said he shouldn't leave the mosque unless he hears a sound or he can smell any bad smell. So this is among the basis of istishab. Okay,
Doctor, you have 4 minutes left.
How many minutes?
4 minutes left.
Okay, thank you for reminding. Okay, so this is the basis that move. Okay, so this is the type of istishab, which I will skip this part. You can read on your own. Okay, basically we have like 4. We'll move to the next slide. Okay, validity of istishab. Istishab is accepted by Shafi'is, Hanbalis, Zahiris, and Shia Imamiyah. Okay, according to them, istishab indicate continuation of something which has been proven and the negation of something which had not existed. Okay, however, istishab actually is rejected by Hanafis and Malikis, because according to Hanafis and Malikis, to establish that the previous fact is still existing from before, previous to now, they must also be need to come up with proof as well. Okay, so for istishab, we have various legal maxims that actually come out from this istishab, in which I believe some of you actually have some of this qaida as we discussed by Prof Amanullah in his previous class. Like we have al-yaqin la yazul bi-shak, okay, bara'a dhima al-asliya al-asl fil ashya' al-ibah, and so on. Okay, masalih mursalah. Okay, basically mean benefit or interest. Masalih mursalah is unrestricted public interest in the sense of not having been regulated by a legislator, and when no textual authority can be found on its validity or that. Basically, masalih mursalah is basically something that is actually has not been found in Quran or Sunnah about it. Okay, so according to Ghazali, consideration which secures benefit or prevent harm, but in the meantime is harmonious with the aim and objective of Sharia. Okay, so let's see. So this is the type of maslahah. We have 3 types of maslahah. Maslahah mu'tabara, which actually this maslahah actually has been approved and mentioned in Quran or Sunnah. Number 2, maslahah mulghah. This maslahah is actually maslahah that actually has been nullified and has been rejected in either Quran or Sunnah. Basically, we do not approve this kind of maslahah. And finally, we have maslahah mursalah. There is no text to validate or invalidate this type of maslahah. So this is, the one we discussing now is basically example here. Purification of Quran, definitely for a group of people who involved in killing of one person. So this is the condition. It must be genuine, it must be general, and it must conform with Sharia. If actually it doesn't meet one of these requirements, then it cannot be good maslahah. And Sadd al-Dhari'ah, basically, we're blocking something at the earlier level to prevent the bad result that may arise from that particular thing, like prohibition of, zina. Allah said, La taqrabu zina, don't get close to zina. Allah don't say don't commit zina, but don't get close to zina. So we block this from the earlier stage. So this is the type of Dhari'ah. We have 4 types. You can read on your own. And finally, Uruf. Uruf basically the custom. Okay. You can read on this one. So this actually basically the thing that actually has make effect to Uruf in Islamic jurisprudence. Okay. Again, you can read on your own. Okay, so this is the classification of Uruf. We have verbal Uruf, verbal and practical Uruf, general and specific Uruf, and valid and invalid Uruf. Okay, again, you can read on your own. I have no time to explain it now. So Uruf is actually valid source according to traditional and contemporary Muslim scholars. Okay, no issues about that. Okay, I think that's all from me. If let's say you have any question, please.